Hello guys and welcome back. This is the second lesson, that is animation tool Synfig standard 11th subject computer, chapter number 2 part 1. In this video we are going to understand how to use multimedia authoring tool. Basically we will focus on Synfig Studio. So let's get started. Topics to be covered in this video: types of multimedia authoring tools, Synfig Studio, getting started, toolbox, canvas, panels, creating new file, opening file and closing file. So these are the topics we will discuss in this video. Okay, so let's see and keep connected. Types of multimedia authoring tools. There are following types of authoring tools which provide the important framework to organize and edit the multimedia elements like graphics, sound, video and animation. See, in the market we have various types of authoring tools. Some tools are chargeable, some tools are free of cost. So here guys we are talking about those tools which are totally free, means we can download from internet and you can install it. And these tools offering us to edit our multimedia applications or multimedia project which you are working. So let's see. The first is card or base page based tools. Second is icon and event based tools. Third is time based tools. Means if you try to divide this authoring tools, so these authoring tools are divided into three categories. The one, this is card or page based tools. Second, icon and event based tools. And third, time based tools. Let's see one by one. Card or page based tools. As the name implies, in this type of authoring tools, the elements are organized as page of book or pile of cards. I mean, just like a notebook, just like a textbook. You might have seen in the textbook all the page which you are using are in a sequence. And for more convenient, what we do, we provide the indexes in which page, which topic you are going to be covered. So you mention over there. Why we are going to mention? To directly jump to that particular topic without going one by one. So card or page based is just like the notebook or textbook. That's why here it is written very clearly. These all the elements are organized as page of book or pile of cards, and all these pages are linked into a organized sequence. That's why we can jump from one page to another, or directly we can move to that particular page. This type of the tools are useful when the different elements can be viewed individually, like the page of the book. Means the user has a freedom to jump to the particular page or particular topic, which the topic he or she is liking, can go to that particular topic, because there will be option for jumping. The link will be there, so just by clicking on that particular link you will jump over there. So that's why this is very useful for whom, those who wants to view the individual page or individual part of the this project which you have made. Some example of this type of software are as given: HyperCard and Multimedia Toolbox. Let me clear one more time, these all are free of cost. These are not chargeable, these are the open source. So you can download from the internet and you can use it. The second type of authoring tool is icon and event based tool. In icon and event based authoring tool, the elements are organized as objects in a structural framework or process. Here the elements are means we have already seen in the first lesson the multimedia elements like text, audio, videos, graphics, pictures, these all are the elements. So these all elements are organized as objects in a structural framework or process. Here you need to build the flowchart of event or task and then the elements as a structure. Means we have to decide which content will appear first, which content will come afterward, which content will come at last. So that will be decided by the flowchart. Flowchart decide the flow of content, in which direction your content is going to be flow. Okay, so to create this kind of project using this authoring tool, we need to use flowchart that will decide the flow of content. Example of this authoring tools are authorware and icon author, etc. Time based tools. In this type of authoring tool, the elements are organized along a timeline. This is the most popular tools which we are using nowadays, and we will discuss in our syllabus time based tools only. They are useful when you want to give a message that has beginning and ending. Means here we have to decide the beginning time and ending time. The elements are displayed as per time or location of the event. Means every elements which you are going to insert it to your project will be given a time period. In that particular time period, your elements will be appeared and disappeared. So that's why its name is time based tools, because every element is getting uh, a given time. On that particular time, this object is going to be appeared or disappeared. Time based authoring tools are most popular amongst all, as I told. Some examples are Synfig Studio or Synfig, Pencil, Flash and Director. In our syllabus we will discuss about Synfig, because Synfig provide very good quality. So we'll see one by one. Before starting the Synfig, we have a pencil. Let's see what is pencil. Pencil is 2D animation software. Lets you create traditional hand drawn animation using both bitmap and vector graphics. This is the very old fashioned best tools which offer us to create traditional hand drawn animation, and you can use bitmap or vector graphics, which we have already seen what is bitmap, what is vector graphics. It can be freely downloaded from this given link, that http www.pencilanimation.org, or if you are not convenient, so directly go to the Google and type pencil animation. You will see the link and you can download from there. This is the interface of pencil when you open the pencil software. So the first page will look like that is called the home window, that is look like this. So Synfig Studio, this is time based multimedia authoring tools. This is open source which can be downloaded freely from http colon double forward slash www.synfig.org. Open source means this is not chargeable, this is totally free. This is 2D vector animation software released in 2005, GNU GPL 2D vector animation means it works on x and y dimensions, means the animation which you make using this software are working on 2 dimension, x and y. This is used to make film quality animation with fewer people resources. It is supported by almost all the operating system, means it can be downloaded and installed to the almost all the operating system like Windows, Linux, uh, Apple. Synfig stores animation in XML, that is extensible markup language file format, often compressed using compression software, that is GZIP, which stands for GNU ZIP, means the file which we are making in Synfig Studio will be stored in XML format, and this is compressed form, and that is compressed by the compression software, that is GZIP. Compressed form means the size of the file will be reduced and that is easy to move from one place to another. It takes less space. The file extension in compressed form is .sifz and uncompressed form is .sif. So it has a two mode of file saving. The one is compressed and another is uncompressed. Compressed form is .sifz and uncompressed form is .sif. Let me remind, the compressed file takes less space to save and uncompressed file takes more space to save in the computer memory. It comes in different version. So it has a different versions, but in your book we are going to prefer 0.63.05 version, but the latest version is 1.3.14. So if you want to use the latest version, so you will download from the that given link, but I will suggest that use the 0.63.05 version because this version is preferred by your book, and I will prefer this book and practically I will teach you using this software. Now we are going to know how to start. See, this is depending on in which operating system you're using. I hope everyone has Windows operating system, but your book is preferring to use Linux or Ubuntu. But here we are going to use Windows 10, or maybe you have a Windows 7, but the step will be same. Let's see. We have to click on the start button first and type Synfig Studio or simply Synfig in the search box. When you type Synfig in the search box, you will be see in the list the Synfig is there. Yeah, make sure that your Synfig Studio is installed to the computer. Without installing, if you are trying to find out, it's not possible, right? So you have to install first, then we have to follow this step. Note, we can drag the window to change the window size after opening it if you want to move from one place to another, or if you want to move, make adjustment to the window, we'll see practically. So you can drag and move. To reset the Synfig Studio window in default mode, we have to follow this step. Toolbox, file menu, panels, reset Windows to original layout. Let's see practically how this is going to be started. Okay, so let us understand how to open this Synfig Studio. So simply just go to the start button and here you write Synfig. You can see When you write Synfig in the search box, the Synfig Studio app will be displayed in pop-up. So just click here to open it, and you can see here I have opened my Synfig Studio. And if you want to see which version we are using, so you can see from here just by going to the this. Look at this. Yeah, you can see this is the 0.63.05. This is the version which is we are using. Actually, this is not a latest version. We are using the those version which are in our textbook, so that if you uh, try to get help from the textbook, so you will get it. That's why I'm going to teach the those version which are preferred in our textbook. Okay, so here we understood how to start it, and you can see here we have a various window. This is the toolbox window, and this is canvas window, and this is a panel, and this is also panel. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. Now for closing, just we need to click on this close button of toolbox. You can see all will close. I hope you got how to start. Toolbox tool, this is most important. So here we will understand toolbox. You can see this is the picture of toolbox. So just by picture you will be understand how many parts are there. So toolbox has the three parts. The first part is upper palette, and the second part is middle palette, and third part is lower palette. So you can see it has three parts: upper palettes, middle palettes, lower palettes. We will see one by one. So let's see. Now we are going to see toolbox. This is toolbox. Let's say that this toolbox has three parts. This is the upper part, that is called the upper palette, and this is called the middle palette, and this is called the lower palette. We'll see one by one. See, you can see in the upper palette we have a various option, like you can see you can minimize from here, we can close from this close button. We have a file menu, you can new, open, open recent, save as, close, panel settings. So we have various options, and these are the standard icons under the upper palette. This is for creating a new, this is for opening, this is for save, this is for save as, and this is for save all. And these tools are this highlighted because I have not done anything. If I do something on the canvas, so you will be see this undo will be highlighted, and if I do the undo, then you can see the redo will be also highlighted. And this is for setup, and this is for showing about Synfig Studio which version we are using, and this is for help. So I hope you all got the upper palette. So you can see this is for new. You can see the new page is going to be created, and you can see this is for creating the new file. Sorry, opening an existing file, and this is for setup. If you want to set the color and something else, so you can set from here. And this is for showing the which version you are using, or we can say which version is this software, so you can see from here. And this is for taking the help if you want to get the help, so you will be see the online helps are there. So this helps, but okay, so you can get the help about any topic which you don't know, right? I hope you got this now. And so these are the upper palettes. I hope you all got it. Okay, now we will see the middle palette. You can see this is the middle palette. This area is known as the middle palette, and this has a various tools. You can say this is transform tool. We will see one by one. This is basically used for selecting the object and moving from one place to another on the canvas. This is a smooth move tool that is also used for moving. A scale tool for scaling, and this is for rotating tool, means used for rotating. This is mirror tool, circle tool, rectangle tool, and a star tool, gradient tool. This is polygon tool, blind tool, draw tool, width tool, and this is fill tool, and eyedrop tool, text tool, pencil, oh sorry, sketch tool, and this is zoom tool. So here we understood middle palette. We will see these all the tools one by one. Okay, so I hope you all got. Yeah, this area is known as lower palette. So lower palette has some various options, like this is for the outline color, and this is for swapping fill outline color, and this is for fill color. So here, if you want to swap fill color to the outline color, so we can click on this swap button. Okay, you can see if I click here, you can see it's going to be swap. And this is for showing the brush preview, and from here you can decrease or increase the brush size. You can see if I increase the brush size, you can see it's going to be displayed in the brush preview. And this is uh, the option for selecting the layer. By default layer is by layer default. Okay, so you can select any one layer, but we will discuss one by one which layer is applicable for us. And this is for opacity. If you want to change the opacity, opacity defines the transparency level. We will see, and so you can decrease or increase. The maximum is 1, and you can decrease to the 0. Okay, so we'll see practically one by one these all the things. And this is gradient. If you want to define the gradient colors, gradients are the mix of colors, and this is for interpolations. So this area is known as lowest palette of toolbox. So this all we will see one by one. So here just I explained where is this lowest panel, where is middle palette, and where is upper palette. So toolbox has a three part. The first part is upper palette, second part is middle palette, and third part is lower palette or lowest palette. Lower palette, foreground and background color. The foreground and the background color, you can see this is the icon of this is foreground and this is background. Basically here if you see practically, so this will be outline and this will be fill. So this is used to change the fill color and the outline colors. Okay, so when we create a layer without outline, then it has only fill color, so that you have to keep it in the mind. We can change the color by clicking on the fill or outline color. Let's see practically. uh, Foreground and background colors. See, this is for foreground and this is for background. Let me show you. If I draw a circle over here, so you can see the boundary color, means the border of the circle will be green and the inside the color will be white. If you want to swap, you can swap it just by this swap button. You can see it's going to be changed. So I hope you got how to apply this. If you want to change the color, just by clicking that you can change. You can click here, or you can click the RGB, or some here also given. You can select from here. Some colors are there. You can select any one color, which color you like, right? And then you can see it's going to be applied. And okay, so this is for foreground, means outline color. This is for fill color, that will be inside the object, and this is for swap from outline to fill color, and this is for brush preview. Brush size. Using the brush size, you can set the size of the line for new outline layer. Means what will be thickness of the outline, that will be decided by the brush size. So see practically. Now we have to understand brush size. So from here you can see this is for brush size. This will decide the thickness of outline of any object. Here I have taken a circle and you can see here outline is activated. This layer has been selected. So if I decrease or increase, here I am going to decrease. And if I draw a circle, you can see the outline of this circle is going to be decreased. If I going to be increased this brush size, so you can see the thickness of the outline of this circle is going to be increased. So this brush size is going to be increase or decrease the thickness of brush size. You can see, okay, so you can decrease or increase as per your requirement, but make sure that you have selected this outline layer. If the outline layer is not selected, let me show you, then there is no meaning to increase or decrease this size, and this size will be not be effective because you have already not selected the outline line. Okay, so make sure that you have selected the outline, because this brush size is applicable to the outline only. So I hope you got everyone. Opacity. Let's see opacity. It controls the layer visibility. Means if you want to make visible your the layers or non-visible of your layers, so you can do this using this opacity. It has 0. This is for invisible the layer. If you set 0 opacity, then your layer will be invisible, it will not visible. And maximum is 1, means layer is visible. So between 0 to 1 you can adjust your the opacity to make change the visibility of your the layer. So let's see one by one practically. Opacity, we are going to see the opacity. So here I am going to show you what is the use of opacity. So as we know, the opacity is used to control the layer's visibility. 0 means the layer is invisible and 1 means the layer is completely visible. Let me show you. Here I am going to draw, before drawing, okay. So here I am going to draw one circle. You can see the outline is too much. So let me decrease this outline. You can just by here I want to give 2. Okay, that is enough. Or okay, you can see. And here I want to see default, this is 1. Now if I draw here, you can see it's more visible. You can see more visible. Okay, but if I decrease this, let me show you. So you can see the visibility is going to be changed. You can see it's not completely visible because I have changed it to 0.37. If I change, you can see the visibility is going to be completely changed. So 0 is, if I draw on the 0, so nothing will be visible of that object which we have drawn. So you can control the visibility layer of the any object. So you can see the 1 is the maximum and 0 is the lowest. In between, as per your the need, you can change the visibility layer. I hope you all got how to apply this opacity layer. Now you can see it's a full visible. If I change it, you can see it's going to be change its transparency or visibility. I hope you all got. Gradient. This gradient option is used to change the gradient colors for gradient tool. This will be effective when we are using the gradient tool. So this is used by the gradient layers to set the default gradient between foreground and background color. Means this gradient option use foreground and background colors and mix it and make like a gradient. So we'll see how this is going to be set. Now see, we are going to see the next, that is this is called gradient. So this is used to change, or we can say set, the default gradient between the foreground color and background color. You can see the combination of this outline color and fill color is going to be applicable over. If you want to change, just click here and you can change as per your need. And how this is going to be visible if you apply this gradient tool. So this will be visible if you use the gradient tool. Let me show you. You can see the color I have selected is going to be applicable over here. Once again, I want to show you. I want to change this gradient and let me show you and let me draw. So I hope you got it. Okay. So gradient, this in the lower palette is basically used to set the by default gradient color for gradient tool. I hope you all got it. Canvas. The canvas is the working area where you insert your object. In upper left corner of the canvas window, you can see the caret in the triangular shape, which provides various options like file, edit and some other option. You can also see the timeline, which appears only when you have non-zero duration in setting dialog of your project. This timeline is very useful when we learn how to put animation to the given object. So that time it is very useful. There we will understand in detail. You can also see the some switches for lock or unlock the keyframes, and these are very useful if you want to off or on the switches. So you can on or off or lock or unlock using this. Yeah, this area is known as canvas. The canvas is the working area. This rectangular, or we can say this panel, or we can say window, is known as the canvas, where we insert all the object. You can see this area has some options, like this is called the caret. Okay, so this triangular option is known as the caret. It provides us file menu, edit, view, canvas, tools, group, layer, keyframe. So you can do from here also. So this is caret, and these are the switches. This is for on or off, or we can see lock or unlock. Okay, and this area is this is called the timeline. We will see when we will understand animation. So there I will make you understand what is the use of this timeline, but here just we have to understand this canvas, and this is for show the render setting. Render setting, what is this? Basically when we go for applying some animations, so we need to save it final for finalize. So we have to render this, we'll understand there, and this is for show the preview setting dialog box. Okay, so this all we will see one by one. Just here you understand where is the canvas. So this is the area that is called the canvas, where we insert any object, and canvas has some various part, as I told, that is timeline, and this is switches, that is for lock or unlock. Okay, we will see one by one. Panels. So panels are the verticals or horizontals window which has some various options. So here we have a different panels, layer panels, parameter panels, history panels, and note to activate or on the panels. To activate or on the panels which is not visible, we need to click on File, Panels and select your panels. I repeat, if you want to, suppose some panels are not visible, it's not looking over there, so you want to activate it, so go to the File menu, click on the panels and select your panels, which panels you want to make it visible. See, we have a different panels, so we are going to understand about this panel, that is the right side. This panel is very useful. You can see using this slider, you can decrease or increase the canvas area. You can see the canvas area is going to be decreased and canvas area is going to be increased. The maximum is, you can see it is 1600%, and you can decrease or increase. So I hope you got this. And this is for info, if you want to, so in which direction this canvas is there, or the object which you are placing, if you want to see the dimension of that, you can see. And this is for palette editor, this is for changing the color if you are working with foreground and the background, so you can use this. And see, this is for transform tool. Okay, and this is history if you want to see, and this is for canvas browsers. Okay, so these are the various options, and this is for groups. We will see one by one. So this is the panels, and various some options are there. Okay, and this panels can be moved anywhere, and some other options are there. You can see this is not highlighted, because when we do some additional work, so that time this will be highlighted. So we'll see one by one. Just here you understand this is the panels, and yeah, this is very useful for us. So one by one we will see when we need of that. Okay, creating new files. How to create new file? So we have to go to the toolbox, then click on the new file option, or we have some various option also. Let's see practically. So here we are going to understand how to create new file. So you can go to the file and you can click on the new, or you can press Ctrl N. You can see the new file has been created. This is the first option. Second option, you can just click on this new file icon. You will see the new file is created. Third option, you can press Ctrl N. You can see the new file is created. And the fourth option is also there. You can go to the file and you can this is caret. You can go to the caret and you can file, then you can click new. So you can see, so here I explain the various ways to create a new file. Which one is easiest for you, you can choose it. Okay, so here if you want to see the properties of that, so you can see the properties. I will be see the properties. To see the properties, we have to click on the caret. This is caret, and click on the edit, and then you can click on the properties. That will show you the name of this file. You can see by default this is Synfig Animation 9, means untitled. Untitled means without saving this file, I have created 9 different new file. That's why it's Synfig Animation 9. Okay, so if you want to change, you can see, suppose I am going to give hello, right? And you can see the width of this image size is given here, 480 pixel, height is given, image span is also given. Okay, you can see the timing, the frame per second timing is given by default 24. The end time is 5 seconds. So this we will see when I explain how to create animations. Other, you can see some other things are here, and after making some changes you can click on the apply and you can close. But here we are not going to make any changes, just I have given the name, and then I want to apply this and close it. You can say that sorry, you can see the name I have given is going to be visible on the title because I have changed the name. So here we understood how to create new file, how to open and close file. So let's see practically. Here we are going to understand how to close and how to open. So here I want to close this my file, that is hello. So simply click on this close button, or you can go to the file and click on this close, or we can press Ctrl W. So here we have a three options. The one, you can go to the file and you can click on the close. Second option is click on this close button, or third option is press Ctrl W. Let me show you. Okay, so it is asking for saving if you want to make some changes. So you have to press yes, otherwise no, otherwise cancel. If you don't, if you want to stay on that, so we have to click on the cancel. If you want to close, you have to press yes or no. So here I have saved, and now it is asking for another one. See, because we are going to close all, right? Okay, so let me so one more time, go to the file and close. It is asking for save. Yes, I want to save. Okay, then it is asking where you want to save it. So I want to save this file to desktop. So I will select here desktop and then I will click on the save. Now you can see I have closed it. Now we are going to understand how to open. Go to the file and click on this open. Then find out where is your file. So my file is here, hello. So I will click on the open, or you can press Ctrl O. That is also possible. Okay, so let me show you. Press Ctrl O. That is also possible, and that will give you the dialog box. From there you can select your the file which you want to open. So I hope you all got how to open, how to close. It's very simple. It's not very tough. It's just like the another applications which you have already used. Thank you. We will see again in the next video. Thank you so much.